Welcome back to another video. My name is Abby, and today we're talking about the fear of abandonment and living in the end. If you want to dissolve your limiting beliefs and break through them so you can manifest whatever it is you want and want to work with me to do so, go ahead and hit that link below to book a session. And if you're interested in more engagement, interaction, and exclusive content, I now have a Patreon. So check out the different tiers below in the link and see if any of those resonate, because I would love to have you part of that community. So back to the video. Fear of abandonment and living in the end. Obviously, fear of abandonment is not the easiest topic to talk about. I've experienced a lot of it, so I do consider myself a resident expert in the pain of its existence. So I want to break down what exactly is happening and what it means when it comes to Neville Goddard and his ideas of living in the end, as well as the law of assumption. First, let's break it down. What is abandonment, right? So the etymology of the word is to leave someone in need. And another word for need is basically a sense of duty. Another definition, to put something under someone's control. So what I get from this definition, which I thought was absolutely fascinating, is the idea, that first part, right? To leave someone in need. So basically, if that is the situation, there's an underlying dynamic of a sense of duty that the person leaving, abandoning, they were having a duty to stay with this person, right? That is very important, in my opinion, for this dynamic, especially when it comes to living in the end. And the other thing, to put under someone's control, right? What are you putting under someone's control? What dynamic is happening here with the fear of abandonment? And we're going to get more into that in just a second, because obviously then I looked up what fear means. So fear is basically the possibility of danger, right? That makes sense. But when we put this all together, the fear, the possibility of danger to leave someone in need, when you break that down, it's like, okay, so the fear of abandonment is not about somebody just not being there anymore. There's a way deeper energy, electromagnetic component to what we're talking about here that I think is vital for you to start seeing what the mechanism is, so you can recalibrate and start making shifts that are going to empower you, and most importantly, that are going to get the life reflected back to you that you want to experience, not these super painful experiences that I understand so deeply how they feel terrible, and they basically feel like your whole life explodes or implodes or whatever it is. For you, that's how my life has been. That's why I'm making this video, is to help you, give you a little bit more guidance and clarity on what's going on. So obviously, when you are experiencing a fear of abandonment, when you have a fear of abandonment, what does that mean? If we're getting away from the etymology, it means that you've experienced a pretty profound, intense abandonment experience. You've had a lot of pain from that. And basically, your fear of abandonment is your desire, your attempt to control the future or your current situation so that you do not hurt again. Because you've seen, okay, I really care about this person. I don't want them to leave, because when I know when they leave, that really hurts me. I don't like that. So I want to avoid that. So your brain is like, okay, this is the perceived threat. When the person leaves and that threat happens, I get pain. I experience pain. I don't want to have that. So you want to potentially control situations. You want to get ahead of the curve to see what's going to happen so that you can avoid pain, so that you can potentially get your needs met. Somebody staying, being loved, feeling whole and complete, like all the things, right? Feeling desired, feeling appreciated, feeling respected. Well, if you're afraid and you're perceiving that when you get into a relationship, you got to keep your eyes out, you got to kind of like keep tabs on this person, or potentially you're just like, okay, is that it? Oh, are they going now? Okay, we've gotten close. You're always looking for what angle. Are they trying to leave there? Are they trying to leave there? And either you grab on and you try to pull them, not physically, but emotionally and energetically. You want to grab hold, enter needy and clinging behavior, right? You're not doing that to be an asshole or to be bad or to make somebody's life terrible, including your own. You're doing that because you're trying to get your needs met. You're trying to stay safe. You're seeing this thing, a perception that if this person leaves, I'm going to be really hurt. I want this person to stay so that I don't get hurt. If you can understand that what you're trying to avoid is these feelings that you've experienced before, this pain that you already know. Maybe you had a parent, a guardian, a friend, a teacher, whatever it was. You had a situation earlier in your life where somebody left and it was really painful. It really hurt you. It really affected you so much so that your body responds to anything that looks like it could maybe kind of sort of be just like that thing. And if any kind of way I'm going to see that, I'm going to try to take control and I'm going to try to pull it back so that I don't feel that. Unfortunately, usually what happens is when you have a fear of abandonment and you act upon it in this coping mechanism, in this way, right, of holding on or trying to control or smothering or jealousy or whatever the laundry list of things, it does not work in your favor of what you want. You don't want to get hurt, but even acting in those ways is hurtful. Why? Because in that situation early on, unconsciously, you perceived yourself in a way. You gave that thing a meaning. And what you don't understand right now is the meaning that you gave that original event, that situation, is what's causing you pain, is what's giving you this fear of it happening again. For example, if when you were little, one of your parents left, maybe it was a divorce, maybe something happened and they had another job and you didn't quite understand. Maybe they just left and it was a really painful situation. Regardless of what happened and why it happened, as a child, you gave that a meaning based on your ability to reason at the time. Specifically, if no one explained what was going on and you just simply experienced this person leaving, you might have taken it, at least unconsciously, or maybe it's something you can't access right now, that you did something wrong, that you were insufficient, that if you could have changed yourself or done something different, that wouldn't have happened. That essentially you were leavable. So now when you get close to somebody, it scares you because you're afraid that's going to happen again. If you go back and look and see what is the meaning that I gave that situation, use your adult mind and all the skills, all the knowledge, all the wisdom that you've gained up until now to go back there and see what meaning and what value are you giving yourself from that experience. Now remember, stress has to do with us looking through situations and the appraisal that we give that, the meanings that we're giving situations. So the stress that you feel from that original event that could be basically being pushed to the surface when you're experiencing something, maybe it be a relationship romantically or a friendship or even a job situation. This wound is getting pushed upon. You experience this physical stress because your body is thinking, okay, this thing's going to happen again. It was really bad back then. I don't want this to happen. So I'm going to do everything I can to control this so that it won't happen. It's a way that you're trying to protect yourself. What does this have to do with the law of assumption? Well, the law of assumption in Neville Goddard's terms are whatever it is that you give permission and you give consent to be true. It's very much in alignment with what a belief is when you look at the etymology of it, which is essentially whatever it is that you accept to be true. So when you look back on the very first time you ever experienced abandonment, what permission are you giving this situation and consent to an idea about you? Because again, we're looking at your behavior. We're looking at how this applies to you. So what are the assumptions that you made based on that original situation? What are the assumptions that you have about somebody in a relationship with you? Are you afraid they're going to leave? Do you think that when you move closer to somebody, they will disappear, they will leave? You are assuming that, you're giving it permission, you're giving it consent to be true. You're going to be basically bringing that to you. You're going to find that reflection. You're going to find the people, circumstances, situations. You're going to be drawn to it. It's going to be drawn to you because you're on the same vibrational frequency, meaning your thoughts and feelings, just the same as you can say a jazz song is on the same frequency as the radio broadcast, the numbers, 101.2. If you go to a classical station, it's on a different frequency, right? So the thoughts and feelings are going to be different. So if you are having feelings that you aren't enough, and essentially you're now rejecting yourself, you're now abandoning yourself because you need that person to bring you that validation, to give you that love, that because you don't feel whole, you feel like you're not enough without somebody else. You're afraid they're going to leave, and if you don't have them, you don't have anything. That in itself is a self-abandonment, self-neglect. not seeing the beauty and the power, value that you have on your own. So if you're sending out that self-rejection, that self-abandonment, you're going to find it reflected back in the world. So what can you do? You can look to see, okay, what meaning did I give it? And what meaning am I giving this person if they're gonna stay? If in this relationship, do I feel like I am more? And if it goes away, then I have lost everything and my whole world crumbles? What meaning and what value are you giving that person in the relationship? Remember the original definition, the etymology of that word, to leave someone in need. So if you are in need of this other person's validation, of their approval of you, of their love for you to feel whole and complete, that means without it, you feel incomplete and you feel lack and you don't feel enough. So if they're leaving because you don't feel enough, you're going to now see that reflected back to you. The issue is not about you not being enough. The issue and the reason this continues to come up is the assumptions that you have about yourself. You going and listening to what it is and what part of you that needs that love and compassion and to heal that wound. Look to see what meaning you've given past situations and what value you give yourself. Are you abandoning yourself? Are you rejecting yourself right now? Again, we are in a world that's going to reflect back to us that which we believe. So if we believe we are whole and complete without anybody else, if we believe that we are worthy, if we believe we're abundant, deep inside of us, we accept that to be true, we are going to see that reflected back. If we believe we are in lack, if we believe we're not whole and complete without somebody else, we will see that reflected back to us. You cannot escape this. This is a law. The law of assumption goes right in hand with that idea. What is it that you are accepting to be true? What are you giving permission and consent? What are you giving your power away to? What idea? Is that in alignment with what you want? Or is it going against and towards the thing you're afraid of? The more you become aware of what it is you're thinking, how it is you feel deeply about yourself, the closer you become to see who you truly are and have that then reflected back in your outside world. I really appreciate you watching this video. If you like this video, hit that like button. And if you haven't done so already, join this community by hitting that subscribe button. I'll see you on the next one.